The most obvious thing is, of course, sharing that experience. And with today's technology, it's never been easier. Piers Clark spoke to Joe Blackman, who came highly recommended because of the work he is doing to address the aging workforce challenge. Joe is the founder of Vitendo Training Solutions, where the main focus is to share knowledge, taking it from the people who have it to the people who need it. With equal passions for public works, video, and just-in-time training, Joe has taken the initiative to set the standard for capturing institutionalized knowledge. Piers opened by asking Joe what he thought the silver tsunami actually is.
Oh, silver tsunami. So I feel like our best and brightest are already working on the aging infrastructure of our industry. The pipes that are 75 years old and they were metered for 50 years, or the water treatment plant that needed an upgrade 20 years ago and it's still plugging along. I like to focus on the aging workforce. So the silver tsunami are those who, let's say they have retired in the last 5 to 10 years, or they are going to retire in the next 5 to 10 years. And the tsunami means there's more people leaving the industry than coming into the industry. So imagine this huge exodus of people like you and myself. We don't have hair, or gray hair, and we're leaving the industry and we're taking all that institutionalized knowledge with us. And the next generation is like, hey, how does this work? How do you solve for this? Did you put an SOP down for that? No, because they took all that information and now they're gone. So that's the silver tsunami.
I love that picture of, we're so used to thinking about it with the assets, we just don't think about it with our most important asset, the people. And when I joined the water sector 30, 40 years ago, there were actually people who walked around site and they had a little black book that they'd flick through, and this would tell them where the pumping stations were and where the valves were. And when they left, they sold that book to the incoming people. Of course, we don't have that anymore, but there was this sort of black market of you could buy the book from someone that would tell you where the valves were and how hard you had to turn them. All of that knowledge just dissipates out. All right.
Yep.
I got that. Thank you. That's a great description of the silver tsunami. What is it you're doing?
So Vitendo Training Solutions, it's the same as that black book, but it's above ground, meaning it's legal. So Vitendo Training Solutions, just imagine it this way. So I used to sell heavy equipment to cities. That's this Vector truck right here. I used to sell these complex pieces of equipment to cities. $600,000 truck. I would deliver it. I'd bring it out. It's all shiny. It's got the tire black on it. Everybody's taking pictures. I train everybody on everything. You do a full tip to tail. It could be a day and a half worth of training and a ride along. 2 months later, they're calling me back saying, hey, how does this work? How does that work? Where's this filter at? Where's this, this pump at, or this lever at, or this valve? And I learned that the people weren't necessarily retaining the training, or somebody was on vacation, or somebody left the city a year later. And so they always needed retraining.
Yeah, and if you're not doing it every day, then you don't know it. It doesn't matter what we're doing. I have to keep reminding myself how to log onto my banking app because I don't use it.
Yeah, what's my password? How do I do this? Or what's the app for that? It's the same thing. So I started shooting myself on video. Since I was a salesman and I was a subject matter expert on that piece of equipment, I would shoot my video. Hey, here's the pre-trip checks. Here's where you find this pump. Here's where you find the filters at the end of your job, the day. And I would send them to the supervisors, and they loved it because they could use those videos as that little black book, like you said, to send to somebody and say, hey, here's how you get unstuck out in the field. Here's how you properly wash this out. And so it added accountability. And then also people could learn, people could train on their own. So that's what Vitendo is. I come out, I put everything on video, best practices, institutionalized knowledge, and now they can use it as onboarding, they can use it as refreshers, or they can use it as a black book to kind of get things done more efficiently.
It's a genius idea because it's got all those things you've just described, but also you can press pause and rewind and replay and all of that stuff.
Right?
So,
Yeah.
We're in a world where we do everything from YouTube. Doesn't matter what you haven't done before, you can find it on YouTube and tell yourself it's absolutely genius. Now, so that's what Vitendo Training Solutions is. And it's a business that you run and you provide, and it's just on the water sector?
No. I mean, I've done things on street side, like the proper mix or the proper temperature for a hot patch, how to pour cement, how to level cement. Like, this concept.
I'd say those were still water sector stuff, actually. It's still.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm not at the local pizza shop doing videos on Luigi's Pizza, though.
Yeah, that was the bit I was after, trying to make sure. Although, actually, Harry's and Louis. No, let's not go there.
No.
Just-in-time training. What do you mean by just-in-time training?
So just-in-time training, I feel like I coined the term, but we all know about just-in-time production. These manufacturers, they call them lean production, to where they make it when you order it. It's not like McDonald's where there's 20, double quarter pounders with cheese sitting on the heating rack, and then they just pick one up when you order it. It's where it's made fresh, or it's made fresh as soon as you order it.
It's straight in your brain at the time you need it, rather than being taught something 6 months ago that by the time you actually need to use it.
Yeah. The new generation coming in, they don't know everything. They don't need to know everything. But if they know where they can find how to learn something when they need to do that job, that's just-in-time training.
Brilliant. And I've got to ask, canned versus custom video, what's the difference between those two? I know that's language.
Canned is like, okay, like let's say you have a Honda or a Porsche, right? A Porsche, you go on YouTube and say, how do you take the battery out of your Porsche? Not that you should be doing it anyways, but how do you take the battery out? There's probably a Porsche on there. It might not be your exact make, model, year, but it's a Porsche, and you could probably, fiddle around and get it figured out. That's a canned video. That isn't specific to exactly the application that you have. Custom is where I come out and shoot the videos of your operators with your pumps or with your clarifiers, with your equipment in your dirt or in your water. So when they need to learn something, they see the exact truck, they see the exact pump that they're going to be working with. And that's the custom aspect about it. It's so much better when we can find that video of the exact thing, the problem that we have, the exact faucet that we have, instead of just a random faucet that can maybe help us fix our faucet in our bathtub. So that's canned versus custom.
Note that Joe and his team are confident they can provide different things to different utilities in different countries. If interested, reach out to him on the links highlighted here.